What's going on, everybody? It's your boy John MD. I've been doing some remastering of old cassette tapes from the 90s recently, just kind of as a fun audio experiment, but also as a way just to kind of preserve some of these older mixtapes that are kind of getting lost in time. Did a couple of mine and had a couple people ask me how I was doing it and then also if I could do it for them. But I'll show you guys the kind of basics and the huge difference it makes in a tape. It's pretty amazing. So what you're hearing right now is just the tape recorded in with nothing on it. I didn't do anything to the levels, nothing. And it's super quiet. The master level is hitting, that's over on the far right. It's hitting at its peak at about -17. So that's super quiet. So the first thing I did is threw on an EQ8. Oh, and one of the things about this chain is, except for the noise reduction, everything is a stock Ableton plugin, so if you have Ableton you can easily do this. So the EQ8, all I did there is just boosted all the levels across the board because tapes are very quiet, didn't have a ton of dynamic range, so the EQ is just kind of lacking. So started with that. Second step is added a saturator to give it some oomph and again boost the volume. So you might have been able to hear that. That gave the volume a bit of a kick. Next step is reducing the noise. One of the things about tapes is they have a ton of noise. Even ones that were recorded well and haven't been overdubbed a bunch still tend to have noise. So what I did here is threw in the X noise reduction plugin. And what you do with this is you set the threshold of what sound you want to remove. So when I click here, this is just the sound that's being removed. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear that very well, but it's literally just pulling out a bunch of noise and static. Makes it sound way better. So that's our noise reduction step. Now the next step is we're going to throw a compressor on there. And for those of you who don't really know what a compressor does, essentially you're compressing the sound so that you can bring the overall level up without distorting. So that's how you get these songs that sound so loud, but they're not distorting or artifacting. It's because they're being run with heavy compression to bring everything down so that they can then be brought back up. It's kind of counterintuitive, but it makes a lot of sense when you combine it with a limiter, and that's what I'm going to do. So we start with the compression, and I've got the attack and release set for pretty quick settings. Got about 3 to 6 gain reduction, but then I'm also boosting the output by about 3 to make up for that. Now the last step here is the limiter. And this is where we're gonna, again, now that we've compressed everything, we're gonna use the limiter to boost the overall level without distorting. And as you can hear, that made a significant difference in the loudness. I've got it set at about 7 dB. So now, with that entire chain on, our master level is peaking at -0.3. Now that doesn't mean it's always hitting 0.3. We don't want it to be brick wall. We don't want it to. We want some dynamic range in there. So I've set the ceiling at 0.3, but as you can see on the master, the levels are fluctuating up and down. There's room in there. So that should give you guys an idea of what it takes to kind of bring a tape from the 90s up to snuff. As you can see, you really got to boost the levels mostly, but also get rid of noise. Those are really kind of the two big things. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.